And so this meeting between Donald Trump and Imran Khan is the third leadership-level interaction between the U.S. and Pakistan leaders since Khan's visit to Washington in July 2019.
Will you also visit Pakistan?
Well, we're visiting right now, so we won't really have to. But I wanted to say hello. For both a relationship standpoint, we've had a great relationship, and from the standpoint of our two countries, we're getting along very well. I would say we've never been closer with Pakistan than we are right now. And that's a big statement, although I wouldn't say at all times we were close as a country. But we are very close right now because of the relationship that we have. So it's very important.
And here's what else made news at Davos. U.S. President Donald Trump delivered the keynote address at the World Economic Forum in Davos, and not surprisingly, the speech was more about him than the agenda of the summit. Trump hailed the American model as a glorious example, calling it pro-worker, pro-citizen, even pro-family.
Since my election, America has gained over 7 million jobs, a number unthinkable. I wouldn't say it, I wouldn't talk about it, but that was a number that I had in mind. The projection was 2 million, we did 7, more than 3 times the government's own projections. The unemployment rate is now less than 3.5%, and at 3.5%, that's a number that is the lowest in more than 50 years. Today, I hold up the American model as an example to the world of a working system of free enterprise that will produce the most benefits for the most people in the 21st century and beyond. A pro-worker, pro-citizen, pro-family agenda demonstrates how a nation can thrive when its communities, its companies, its government, and its people work together for the good of the whole nation. As part of this new vision, we passed the largest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history. We doubled the child tax credit, benefiting 40 million American families.
And then there was the usual jibe at the Obama administration, talking about the mess that he inherited from Barack Obama.
The NAFTA agreement exemplified the decades-long failures of the international trading system. The agreement shifted wealth to the hands of a few, promoted massive outsourcing, drove down wages, and shuttered plants and factories by the thousands. The plants would leave our country, make the product, sell it into our country. We ended up with no jobs and no taxes. We'd buy other countries' product. That doesn't happen anymore. This is the wreckage that I was elected to clean up. It's probably the reason I ran for president more than any other thing, because I couldn't understand why we were losing all of these jobs to other countries at such a rapid rate. And it got worse and worse, and I think it's probably the primary reason that I ran, but there are other reasons also.
On the issue of trade tensions, Donald Trump said that negotiations with China on a Phase 2 trade deal will start shortly. Last week, remember, the world's 2 biggest economies finally signed the long-awaited Phase 1 agreement.
Our relationship with China right now has probably never been better. We went through a very rough patch, but it's never, ever been better. My relationship with President Xi is an extraordinary one. He's for China, I'm for the U.S., but other than that, we love each other. Additionally, China will spend an additional $200 billion over 2 years on American services, agriculture and energy, and manufactured goods. So we'll be taking in excess of $200 billion, could be closer to $300 billion when it finishes. But these achievements would not have been possible without the implementation of tariffs, which we had to use, and we're using them on others too. And that is why most of our tariffs on China will remain in place during the Phase 2 negotiations.
And finally, in a thinly veiled dig at Greta Thunberg and other climate activists, Trump said that we must reject the perennial prophets of doom.
This is not a time for pessimism. This is a time for optimism. Fear and doubt is not a good thought process, because this is a time for tremendous hope and joy and optimism and action. But to embrace the possibilities of tomorrow, we must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse. They are the heirs of yesterday's foolish fortune tellers, and I have them, and you have them, and we all have them. And they want to see us do badly, but we don't let that happen.